All right. Happy Black Friday morning to each and every one of you out there. Let's hit the books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips. I am merely Brad Powers. Before we talk a nice slate of college football games on this Black Friday, to say the least, before we talk rivalry weekend as far as Saturdays go, including the big game in the big house there in Ann Arbor between Michigan and Ohio State, before we get to a lot more best bets, let me remind you a couple things. First and foremost, I'm going to start off with the positive here. Congrats to everyone that participates in the show, whether it's the comment sections, whether it's the likes, the subscribes, producers, talent, Knish. Notice how I said talent, then Knish. Everybody involved with this product, 4,000 subscribers we hit. So congrats to everybody. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the support. And speaking of support, make sure you go on over to BetStamp. This show is brought to you by BetStamp. Some nice cross promotion there. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to use multiple sportsbooks and always get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sportsbook for games, futures, player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. Download the app today. If you're looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/hitthebooks, or you can hit the link in the description. If you sign up through this page, it does help support the show. Knish, I'm not going to start off the show with college football. I'm going to start it off with the lead story here. My Thanksgiving was ruined because of your Detroit Lions. I'm sure a lot of people out there's, whether you're in Survivor contests, you're teasing, you're betting against the spread. I mean, I tweeted it. It might have been the worst loss in the history of the Detroit Lions. No exaggeration.
I saw that. Yeah, listen, it was a. It set the table for a tough Thanksgiving yesterday. The defense is just, I mean, you come out of that and everybody now around town is like freaking out, like everybody, the fake pretenders. Horrible performance. It demanded apology. Yeah, I mean, I think I was, still a little, half awake there. Maybe I, was dreaming and meant to say, Packers lock of the week, but. Horrible performance. There's really no excuse about it. And it's a Green Bay team that's not any damn good. And now you have to think that, the Vikings aren't completely. I mean, it's a game. If you win this week, Vikings lose, the division's probably over. Now you give them life again. So just, not the holiday we were looking for around here. Hopefully, that's why it's a college show, baby, because, hopefully we can get back on the right side of things here on CFB.
Yeah, I mean, you
I was going to say, apparently the moon, I hadn't, moon trends weren't part of my repertoire, but apparently they're absolute locks. So,
yeah, some moon trends, but I mean, the trend was favorites did well, especially big favorites. Cowboys don't do well on Thanksgiving. Well, they did well yesterday. So, yeah, that was not a fun day, to say the least. Egg Bowl, I obviously played out the expectation as far as the total. I couldn't believe how bad
ugly game, too. I mean, I watched a lot of that, had some Ole Miss. Just a disgusting game last night. So I still, man, I am not a Lane kid, like a big time.
I'm not either, man.
I don't
That's
think
a game you fucking hammer your
right. It's like the worst Mississippi State team in how many years, and you play around with them the whole game. Like a real deal coach puts that team away and makes a statement and buries them by 35. So I wouldn't. I think Lane's he's better for one of these like middle tier jobs. I would not hire him for a big time job.
No. With that being said, they did go 10-2. Their only losses to Georgia and Alabama on the road. So you got to put thumbs up for the season. But it's games like that just leave me like he's never going to be a national championship coach. Just not. I mean, he's just not buttoned up. That offensive performance was horrific by them. I couldn't believe how bad that was. You hold Mississippi State to 7, you should have covered the damn 10. Let's get to the chat. It's already active, and we do have a show. I do have a hard out, unfortunately, guys, at noon. Aaron in the chat. Temple has been mostly good to us recently. This is a Friday game. Are we backing them again today? I lean that way. I need a 14 to get more involved, but I think they're the right side. Memphis could be sleepy. No chance at a conference championship anymore. That's a coach I don't like. Where are you at here?
Yeah, I would. I'd lean that way again too. I was again seeing that. Just playing the same thing, seeing how far I see 13.5 popped. I don't know if we'll get a 14. But yeah, I'll be a buyer at 14, maybe even probably, if it, I don't know if we'll get it before. I doubt it, but I look at here. So I might play some small 13 before we get off here. But I'd need 14 for a real play.
Agree. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll probably have a small. I haven't got to the window yet, but I kind of want to have some action on Temple there. Fabulous one in the chat. What's with all the Ball State love in the markets? Must be David Letterman money. It's not David Letterman, but it is a guy from Ohio that's part of that. That's me. But yeah, that's one of my best bets. I just like it. I mean, I was diving into that game. Ball State, the last 6 games, #1 defense in not the MAC, the country. Tough laying that kind of number against a team that's been playing well. They covered 5 in a row. I know Miami's really good against the spread, but not much to play for Miami. They got the MAC championship game on deck. I like Ball State, and I'll give you a name because we're in the weeds sometimes in the show. And we're entering to in the weeds season. Their defensive coordinator, Tyler Stockton's a name to keep an eye on. He's really good for Ball State. I don't think the head coach is good, but the DC is really good. So Ball State for me, even at 4, anything above 4, I think so. Okay, worth a bet.
Yep, I would agree with it. I think you've got Miami's offense, obviously not the same since they're very run based, which I think Ball State matches up well with. And you know, let's say Ball State's defense, as you said, has just been on an absolute heater. They just crushed Kent State, who you know, some people are on the other side of that. But listen, I think that it's one of those games, especially a week before the MAC title, one of those spots in a conference that, you know, whether it be these are the one Mountain West, MAC, CUSA, these games right before the conference title games. I think those are great money line sprinkles.
I agree.
That where, like, to me, throw Ball State in a little money line round robin, play them on spread. It's just one of those spots where I think it's an advantageous. The talent disparity is not there, so I agree with you on that one.
I think I'll have to look at it real quick, but I think they lost. They had a bowl game on the line last year. They lost by 1 point to Miami in the finale, and they brought that up many times. So I think they will be highly motivated. I'm not sure they're going to fire their coach because they play hard. I mean, Mike New's not great, but I don't know. I don't know if you're firing in the alum, especially if they perform well in this game. Let's get back to it. Steve A in the chat, thoughts on Texas Tech under 53 tonight. Also, Louisiana minus 12.5 to get to a bowl against a bad ULM
That's been
team.
A big market battle. That Texas Tech total has gone back and forth a number of times this week.
Where are you at on that? I'm not on the total. I'll take 14 with Texas Tech.
Agreed. Like I bet some 14 with Tech. I didn't play the total. I just saw a lot of differing opinions there. And when you see it go from, 54 and a half to 52 down to 50 and back and forth. So I don't have that's when I would say I don't have a strong lean on the total, but I agree with you. 14 was the buy number for Tech. And it took some.
Thinking about it, for the first time, I would lean over because you got 2 programs. Probably the quarterbacks have been the healthiest they've been in a while. You had starters miss multiple games, so maybe lean over there. I don't know. I just prefer Tech plus 14. ULL, did you do anything with that rivalry? I don't want to lay it with ULL. If anything, I was looking to take it with ULM.
Yeah, I did. I didn't get in. Both of those. I have not been involved in many ULL games this year. Just looking back, when I was like,
you got me on the win total.
Go,
if Zach can pull that up. Yeah, they lost. They lost a couple games as a 7+ point favorite, including that Southern Miss game. So you got me on that one.
Yeah,
congrats.
I think probably gun to my head, I would lean ULM with the points, but it's not one that I don't think it's not on the radar to really get involved in.
Yeah. Damn, you got me on that. If that Chris kid doesn't get hurt, I think I win that one, but whatever. That's the story of my life. Jack Mad in the chat. Florida plus 6.5. Texas Tech, we just mentioned we lean that way. I wanted to get to the window on Florida, but I wanted like 7.5. Not there. I bet the under in that Florida State game. I don't know. I thought Circa did a really good. I was wondering how they were going to price it with 2 backup quarterbacks. I thought they did a good job. We haven't seen too much movement, a little bit of under money, but they did a good job on the open. It was good. That's good bookmaking. I normally get on people, but that was a good job by them.
Yeah, I think it's just at as you're saying, it's at the right point where you don't want to play it. I don't know if it's going to be fascinating here. I thought Florida State was overvalued, throughout most of the season and going into the playoff. But now it's almost like, is Jordan Travis, to Rodemaker really this much of a downgrade? I guess we'll see. He's a guy who's played some. He looked okay. The way that, a lot of talent around him on offense. So now I'm in a spot where, I would have loved to have fade, Florida in the next couple of games back at when the prices were, when this was going to be 14, when the ACC title was going to be 10. Now that these are all 6-point adjustments or something, it's kind of like I'm not backing Florida State. I'm just like, it got me off of the train to want to fade them.
Fair enough. I think it's a good in-game live betting situation because, I mean, there's a chance that one of the quarterbacks, the moment's going to be too big for them and it'll show up early, that one of them could have that deer in the headlights look. So that's a game I watch and maybe partake live. Bailey in the chat, Miami under 49. That's today. That's going to kick off here in less than an hour. I don't know. I don't have too much there. I'm in a lay 7, take 10 kind of situation. I prefer my Miami bet. Where are you at here?
Yeah, to be honest with you, gun to my head, I kind of lean the other way. I thought Van Dyke was a bit healthier. I think it's kind of one of those noon games. I don't know if you're going to Miami, cold weather. Are you going to get the real A+ defensive effort on a noon game? I think this just one of those feelings. Again, it probably ends 7-3 now that I'm saying this, where I don't know if either team goes. You kind of get some wide open play. I'm suspect that you're going to get Miami's best effort here to shut down BC in this type of game. So I wouldn't want to play under here.
Matt in the chat, thankful for Knish being upright for this pod.
Funny. For the hit the books, baby. I get out. Also, a more humanly time at 9:45. Moretto trying to kill me here.
Try Monday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I know Monday at 6. Some other people are.
Yeah. Matthew Erickson, do rumors about coaches interviewing for other jobs affect your approach at all? Case by case basis, but obviously I think it's slight negative. But I don't know. It kind of depends. Did they actually interview? Are they talking behind the scenes? I know agents do a lot of the legwork, but where are you at there?
It's one of those things that's just really impossible to quantify. Plus, when an interview now, you can jump on a Zoom call, take it an hour in your office, and it's not like, if a guy's flying across the country, that's one thing. But I mean,
good point.
Elko can, just jump on. I think he's interviewed with Michigan State. May probably interview with A&M, but until the season, you can kind of wait for those. So I don't know. It's just one of those. I think you can kind of false talk yourself into something based off those angles that I don't really put much stock into.
Obviously, you put more stock into them coming up here in a couple weeks, bowl season. So yes. When you got skeleton crews and just the loss of man hours, getting out in front of market moves. We'll be talking that here in a couple weeks. A lot of coaches stuff. Charles Saul in the chat, have West Virginia minus 6.5 in pocket. I do too. Anything at current price worth playing still. West Virginia, Baylor's dead. I wouldn't play back. I can tell you that. I think it's West Virginia blowout. I can't get to the window on Baylor. I'm going to need more. So I'm not looking to hedge back. I'm comfortable with my West Virginia ticket. Did you bet this one? A lot of groups on this.
Yeah, no, this is obviously one that, I mean, you're talking about Matt. There's a real deal move in the market when you've got, a pretty widely available, 6.5, 7s that go all the way to 11.5, 12. Again, it's one of those, if you got on West Virginia early, hold it. Is there a number I'm looking to play back on Baylor? Not really. I just, no. You have to suspect, like, it's just one of those could be dead man walking type games where do you really want to just, play a little bit of a number when you might not get anything out of them? So, I don't think so. It's just a pass for me.
Yeah, keep in mind, Shapen's out. And Baylor, if you're looking at like non-cover margin, dead last in the country, failed to cover by 11 points per game. I got to think. I mean, Aranda's not back next year, is he?
I don't see how. But I haven't heard I
haven't heard anything.
No, it hasn't. There's not a lot of chirping that he got. Maybe it just happens, but
yeah. Oh, no, Monday on the Monday show, probably. Yeah, he's one of those. They get crushed. He gets fired on Sunday. Grant, Oregon minus 13. Yeah, I agree with that side. I know Blue Horseshoe likes Oregon State. He just gave that out. So I'll go opposite Blue Horseshoe there. I like Oregon.
I like Oregon too. I don't, you know what? And watching a lot of that Washington Oregon State game, I know they had like a lot of, nice, post-game win expectancy and stats across. Oregon State just has some, especially at the wide receiver type, like they don't have guys. And it speaks to the job that Jonathan Smith has done in the season they've had. But you compare, I think you just line these two teams up, and it's such a disparity in talent between a state. And it's not a team where Oregon State has to win the trenches to be effective. I don't think they do that here. So I think it's a bad matchup. I like Lanning getting the boys up. Obviously, Oregon needs it if you want to play the motivational angle to make the Pac-12 title. So I like anything under 14 here.
As a best bet, 13 and a half?
Yeah, you want to do 13 and a half here?
Yeah, we'll do a best bet, 13 and a half.
Yeah, I'm going to
Is Dylan Gabriel going to play? Is Oklahoma just getting steamed now? I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm seeing this. I mean, I'm just really pissed.
Is that it? I see.
Is it up there? It's up to 10. I see it was
Yeah,
as low
I
as
see a little bit buyback. I don't know if Gabriel moves the needle enough. Does a banged up Gabriel really?
I just can't believe with a head injury you're playing him on a short week. Unbelievable. When you've already burned the red shirt. It just be the story of my life. Unbelievable season, man. I'm telling you. This is like a loser goes home situation, old wrestling stipulation for me these next 5 weeks. Michael Kalo in the chat, Boise State -6.5 earlier in the week. Thoughts? I think it's the right side. Yeah, I can't play it at 7 though. But this is another in game. You're either going to see that either Air Force has that fighting spirit, which you would hope from a service academy, or they're just DOA and the season's over. What do you think there?
This is, if you go back and we do an off season, one of the most conflicting seasons for an Air Force team, where like the modeling guys, when they were huge favorites, were still betting them up, hitting them out to the last few weeks, where they've gone full outright collapse and just been turning the ball over at an unbelievable rate for a service academy team. I don't know. I really I don't think I've been on most of these Air Force games here in the last month, and I don't want to start now. So I agree. It'd probably be Boise or nothing, but yeah, I'm not laying 7. So
Larrier's out, quarterback again. The fullback leading rusher's out again. And I have Air Force over 8 wins. So yay, a push. Yay. JMU Liberty. I like Coastal. I think bubble burst for JMU on the road, laying 9. Coastal wins. They're in the championship game. Liberty, I haven't bet yet. Have you bet either one of those?
No, I thought the 17 was a bit rich here.
I could see that.
I haven't pulled the trigger yet though. The number was just high for me on this one.
It's 17 and a half in the market.
Yeah. And so I guess you have some concern what you're going to get out of a UTEP team for a season.
Is he getting fired? Dimmel?
I have to think so, but that's another one that I haven't heard a ton on. So I would lean that way. UTEP, gun to my head, I'm taking the points here. I haven't yet. I'll probably talk myself into it before kick.
Hall of Famers here have 17 and a half. Pete Milano, Iowa total. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's historically low. I don't know. My numbers are always going to say bet the over because they just can't handle something this low, as low as 24 and a half in some spots. We like Nebraska on this show. Market tends to agree with us. That's what we gave out Monday as a best bet. I like it. A lot of other people that I respect like it. I need Nebraska points. So I did not bet the total. Did you?
No, I'm going to come in hot though. This is one of those where every show, I've even got some people that text me we got to do an Iowa teaser, right? There's a part of me that thinks this ends up, and I'm by blow up. Most people think blowout 50-3. Blowout in this one's 21-3. So yeah, I think Nebraska wins by double digits in this game.
Damn, I hate you saying that. You just
but
I have similar thoughts, and I've gone on to different shows and said I would not be a bit surprised if Nebraska gets margin here. And I said similar. I said by margin I mean double digits.
I just think it's one of those situations where Iowa locks it up last week. Everybody's crying, hugging on the field. Nebraska needs this for a bowl game. Iowa, all they can do is run the ball. Nebraska matches up well with the run defense. It's just one of those you feel why am I don't know that you don't get Iowa's best effort. You get everything out of Nebraska, and it ends up being just a game where they win by a couple scores.
Nebraska to me feels like best bet of the week material. If
I agree. I would still play it at 2.5. I know we gave it out earlier in the week, a better number. I'd still play 2.5 or money line or whatever you want. That's my favorite side of the week, and Zach can mash up my Lions and Nebraska takes once this all goes bad. But that's definitely the side of the week for me, the side that I'm heaviest on.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I love the Huskers. I trust Matt Rule in this spot. They've been in this spot several times under Scott Frost. Couldn't get it done. I trust Matt Rule a little bit more in this one. Mark in the chat, Razorbacks at home +9 against Mizzou, or we'll get them next year. I bet Mizzou early in this week. I think they're going inside.
I don't. I just don't know what you're getting out of the arc. That's another game where this week you try and factor in. And again, I'm not saying you play all that every angle that there's sometimes it's a good to not get involved in a game in one of these games where you're not sure what you're going to get. We talked about it. We just talked about it with Air Force. A couple other teams here where I don't know exactly what I'm getting out of. Arkansas today, and it's got just a feeling that they might just pack it in type of deal. Like they had their kind of win one for the Sammy Pittman. He's coming back, so
I think it's a negative.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm probably not touching that one.
I think Missouri got their scare last week against Florida. They survived it. They'll be okay here.
Yeah.
Michael Kalo in the chat. Utah first half -12.5. Versus Colorado. This is one that was interesting. Utah's going to play with a fifth-string quarterback here. We saw money come in on Colorado on the under. If it wasn't on Thanksgiving, I think the old tout service would have released, believe it or not, Colorado or the under yesterday when that news was breaking. Did you bet that at all? Or were you wallowing in the Lions and missed it?
No. Oh, I actually agree. I missed that. Completely. I just saw it here, but I mean.
I don't think Shador plays.
I don't think he does either. And with this,
but I could see even with a fifth-string running back, Utah just handing off and pounding these guys. I mean, really busting them up bad. I guess under would be my preference.
Yeah.
I don't know. 49-0. I don't know. I have no idea. Tough game now.
Who's Colorado's backup QB again?
That Ryan Staub. I think they played a couple different guys against Washington State, but I think Staub got the most snaps. Staub, I think, if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
I don't. Man, that's a gun to my head. I agree with you. I think Colorado in the under. I don't know. Maybe throw a leftover turkey leg on a Colorado and under parlay for some fun there. If it was Shador, I'd be in. I agree. I think if Sanders was in this game, I would have been real comfortable with the 3 touchdown. I don't know if it would have been there, but I don't think he plays. And Utah just such an advantage in the trenches. I don't want to get too involved.
I need Utah to win. I'll just put it that way because I'm still alive for the under 4.5, which I'll be tweeting about, to be honest with you. For all I took it in September about how stupid I was betting Colorado unders, there will be payback in that regard. I keep getting, if I'm looking down, I'm getting all these updates on freaking Dylan Gabriel. It's looking more and more like he might play. I got guys at the game, actually. Wade in the chat. Which side you guys like in the Civil War? Well, we just gave you best bet Oregon. Love the Ducks. Number 1 in yards per play margin. Number 1 in yards per game margin. Number 1 in points per game margin. And played a slightly tougher schedule than Michigan and Georgia. They're a legit team. Love them Ducks. Alabama -13. I'm glad we get to this.
Yeah.
Are you surprised with this Auburn money? Because 13's a bet for me.
So what
the word? Auburn?
The word I'm not going to go that far, but the word out of Auburn was that they didn't even prep for New Mexico State. They've been prepping all, it was all, getting ready for Alabama. They thought they could walk through it.
That's pathetic. I mean, that just tells me that Hugh Freeze ain't the guy for the job.
I agree. It's been a rough year one for Hugh, but I don't like this is one I think at the 14.5s, the 15s, you would have had. I never pulled the trigger. Now that it's at 13, no way. But it's just a layoff for me now.
All right, I lean Alabama. Roll Tide. I'll even switch the hats up if I got it. I mean, how they smash Auburn. I just can't believe how pathetic of a performance that was. You don't take anything for granted, especially when Jerry Kill kicked your teeth down your throat last year. You should have known better. I don't get that. Charles in the chat, who's getting the Mississippi State job? Have you heard anything on this? I've heard a lot of names like Barry Odom, Traylor, Jamie Chadwell, I think turned it down.
Yeah. I heard Chadwell and Fish weren't interested was the only stuff I had seen there that they were.
I'm hearing some Jed Fish at A&M. Man, that would be a good hire.
That I agree. I think I think, granted that some of the College Station folks think they should be getting, Bill
Dan
Belichick
Campbell.
and
Dan
yeah,
Campbell.
Campbell and Belichick is his DC and Urban is OC. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I think Jed Fish would be the only thing. Jed has jumped jobs every year or two for like 8 straight years going forward. So I would want to be like, all right, you're gonna be here for 5+ years, because he's definitely been hopping around for a long time.
Touchdown my pants in the chat. TCU plus 10 on Gabriel trending in. I'll let you know by the end of this what's happening. I got guys at the game.
Know if
I like
Gabriel,
TCU in the game. I really
Yeah.
do. I prefer the backup, but I think you look at TCU's statistical profile, it's much better than a 5-win team. I think Oklahoma was overrated. Probably should have lost to BYU last week. I like TCU. It's one of my favorite bets of the week. I just would like to see Gabriel not play, is all.
I don't know.
Bailey and
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know if the banged up Gabriel changes too much for me.
that's
to be
true.
honest
Good
with you.
point.
So I'm holding. I'm not buying back on the TCU position. I'll tell you that.
Bailey 314, UCF 13.5, Duke -6. I didn't bet the Duke game. I don't think hardly anybody has, because I mean that thing hasn't moved at all, has it? All week. And then
No.
I bet UCF. I think they crush Houston. I think this is it for Holgerson. I think he's the guy that gets fired on Sunday. I don't know. It's not like a high value pick though. Where you at there?
Yeah, it's another one. I would tend to agree. Houston just a premium team to get smoked, but you're paying a premium at this number.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I didn't. Someone beat me. It opened 9? I didn't even get
Yeah.
to that.
And as we speak, the board's going to mostly 14. So if you want some 13.5, you probably gotta get in now or never. But either way, it would be you. I'm not betting Houston. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Touchdown my pants again. 22.5, too many for Sparty at home. Aller's noodle arm. Keep in mind, it's not at home. It's in
At
Ford Field,
at
which
the
helps. You're not in windy
doldrums
conditions.
of Ford Field.
Yeah, you gonna go? No.
Well, I mean, just seeing a 4-win Michigan State team gets hammered, would be somewhat enjoyable after yesterday's. But I don't think I kind of lean with the way the market's gone here. I don't know that you're getting much out of Michigan State here. This feels like that last week. I mentioned this on Monday's show. Last week they had 45 players healthy, like active for the roster. I think there's going to be a bunch of transfers. A bunch of guys are sitting out with injury. Great effort to end it versus Indiana. I could see this being a game they just check out here, and Penn State absolutely rolls them.
When they stepped up against Michigan and Ohio State, has not been good. They have not covered big numbers. You think 22 is big. Look at their numbers against Ohio State and Michigan that they didn't get to the window. So, yeah, I agree with Penn State money there. I bet Penn State early in the week. Guy S in the chat, NC State plus 2.5. No, I'm not on this game. Did you bet this one?
No. I have some NC State like game of the year action from all year where I was actually like,
was it like 4.5?
Yeah. I was all like North Carolina's a fraud this year. They turned out to be better, and now they've I don't know what's happened. This is like the same thing. They kind of fallen off the cliff last year. With that said, I'd kind of lean North Carolina at this number. Even there's some cheap. I mean, -128, -130 out there. I think my preference would be North Carolina money line here.
Zach, pull up the head-to-head. I think we're head-to-head on North Carolina win total. I think at 8.5. So I need North Carolina badly. Which
I thought, that one was. I thought I was dead man walking there.
Yeah,
now they're
Knish for the win. Yeah, there we go. 8.5. Oof, that's North Carolina loses outright as a 24-point favorite into Virginia. What a 13-point favorite to Georgia Tech. The story of my life. I can't wait to count up these double-digit outright upsets.
I think, is that going to decide the head-to-head on the season?
Yeah, they're at 8-3. So if they win, I win. If they lose, so you're go Wolfpack right now, bud.
Oh baby. Oh.
Oh my God. Yeah, and you know what that means, folks. Load up on NC State. Austin Hanson in the chat. Kentucky plus 7.5. Too many points. Man, this moved yesterday. I feel like UK has owned that rivalry, and Louisville maybe looking ahead a little bit. I'm surprised by this move. I'm on Kentucky.
Did you end up buying?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I'm
I
not
didn't.
like tout service play of the week. I should have said I lean Kentucky at 8.
I'm a little surprised it got through all the 7.5s, and now I mean 8s especially. I kind of lean that way too now. I think it's a bit rich. Louisville has had some obviously impressive efforts. I don't think the gap between these teams is really this big. But obviously, so some market disagreement out there. It's one that I agree at 8. Again, not a best bet material, but I think that's the only side to play now.
Anthony in chat, UTSA a play at 3.5. I originally bet UTSA on the open, but man, I deep dived this one for a podcast and I couldn't get there. They played 7 straight games against losing teams. So the 7 straight wins with Frank Harris back, kind of fool's gold. So I'm not there. I think just sit back. I think we mentioned this. Sit back and watch it. It's a popcorn game. Best group of 5 game of the season so far.
Yeah, I would lean that way too. It's more of a watch than it is a want to get in. I haven't bet either side. I think I'd gun to my head. I'd play like a 2-lane money line or something, but just not one I really want to be. I want to be in. I tend to agree with your cap on it. There's some fool's gold with UTSA, even though they have put up some great offensive performances. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna sit and watch there.
Fool's goal with Tulane too. Prior to last week, I kept saying they couldn't get margin. They did last week, but they're a little bit banged up at wide receiver. I'm anxious for that. SMU should be Navy, so it'll be SMU versus the winner of this. I'm looking to bet SMU. That's in that game against Tulane or UTSA. Grant, yep, we mentioned this. We like I at least like TCU. We'll see what the hell happens there. Spammy Sosa, does JMU show up to play tomorrow? I question it. I like Coastal there, +9. We kind of mentioned that one early.
Yep.
Here's one. Fabulous one. New Mexico live against Utah State. Yes, that's one you sprinkle on the money line.
Yeah, I agree.
Utah State really banged up. Could be down to a third-string quarterback, third-string running back. Other starters could be out. The tout service gave out under because I don't know what Utah State's offense is going to be. It could be really compromised. It was last week. They didn't score a single point in the final 45 minutes against Boise. So under for me. But yeah, New Mexico is definitely the side ATS, although it's down several points, but sprinkle a little bit of money line there.
For sure.
Austin in the chat, would you approve Arkansas team total over 21.5? Feel like they will have life for KJ's last game, and that Mizzou defense hasn't been impressive to me. I don't know. Where are you at on that?
I mean, I could see it being
that way, I guess.
Yeah, I'd lean that way too. I think I could see it being more of a, even though I didn't want to, take Arkansas with the points, could see it being more of a, a shootout type game if you like some, over and some team total over. Just with neither team really giving a damn on defense. So I'd lean that way. Yeah, if you want to fire around and go, then I'm not going to talk you off that one.
Yeah,
I like that better than taking Arkansas on the points.
Yeah, I agree. I have no choice. DT plus the points. I have no choice but to unsubscribe if Kent State is the best bet again. Please, for the love of God, no. Yeah, I blame myself. I shouldn't have allowed it to happen last week. We should just
that you should have used the veto power.
I should have used the head-to-head because if you go back and watch the shows, I am pretty like, oh my God. In fact, I bet, full disclosure, I bet Northern Illinois. I'm part of the Northern Illinois money this week. I think they kill them.
The funniest part of these Kent State numbers is even with the miserable season, they don't come like
You're
super
not paying
inflated.
A premium.
They don't. There's no premium whatsoever. Even though I thought, last week Ball State we were getting a little bit of and they get hammered again. It's another one. It opens I thought it'd be like 21.5, opens 17 and gets better. So I don't know.
16.
I don't even know who's playing quarterback this week for Kent State.
No, they got nothing.
And I don't think I want to know.
Northern Illinois has to win to get to a bowl.
There you go.
I mean, that 24-0 was pretty good against Western Michigan. I had them there. Thomas Hammock doesn't always give me great confidence. So as far as a consistency, but Kent State's the worst team in the country. They just are. Woody for the win. Love the show, fellas. Well, thank you for watching. Upset of the day. I think we kind of gave you that one. New Mexico, I think, is an outright winner, or at least the most likely. Is there another one? I think Central Michigan's kind of live. That could be one where Toledo's flat, a Jason Candle special to close out the season. We haven't gotten it yet. And then maybe TCU. Those are the 3 for me. Anything I'm missing?
You know, the ones that we really liked were, that are now favorites now, where earlier in the week we're saying Nebraska, Jacksonville State, and now they're, both laying 3.
Yeah.
But as if you like short money line, faves there on it. I think that one. Otherwise, upset city.
I can see Cal over UCLA.
Yep, yeah, I could see that as well. Not too many of the power. I think you're, do best in the kind of those, the G5 kind of random games. As we've kind of talked all year on that
Ball
one, but
State, we talked about that one.
yep. So yeah, those are a couple that we've had. Nothing, I think too crazy outside of that.
Josh in the chat, is it too late to follow the New Mexico steam? No, you know what? I'll tell you what you do. I mean, smaller bets, and I split it up, money line and ATS. I wouldn't go wild on it. You don't want to take 3-4 points to the worst of the number, but yeah, I just split it up between the two because I think there's a strong chance they can win outright.
Yep, there is Temple 14 is here.
Wow, are we best betting it at 14?
I'm in at 14.
I'm in at 14 too. Best bet today, another one. Love it. Temple plus 14. Where's it at? Oh, okay.
It's yeah, Zach. You got to because it's like literally like popping around as we speak.
Okay.
Tell
you
Julian to get
it
the speed up a little bit because I'm seeing 14s on the screen here. We might have a little bit of a lag.
Wait, Betstamp is delayed. He's not on best.
I was gonna. Well, right. Are we not getting they're not giving Hit the Books the best feed here? Well, no wonder they're trying to they're trying to get the forward progress numbers up. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Zach, for locking that in. As soon as you see the 14s pop there. So Temple, you guys watching live. And again, thank you guys for waking up with us and watching this on Black Friday. Josh in the chat, is it too late? Oh, no, I already mentioned that. Grant, we're 40 minutes in the show. It's the biggest game of the week, the biggest game of the year, maybe the biggest game and the biggest rivalry in the history of the sport. Let's hear some thoughts on Ohio State, Michigan. I'll let you take the floor here. I'm conflicted big time.
I am too, man. I tell you, I said this on another show this week. It's probably the most, this is if they play in week 2, in week 4, and week 6, Michigan kills them, wins handily. There's just some things in the last few weeks that have been warning signs, and especially the biggest one is Michigan's pass pro has not been good, and they can't lean on the run game as much as they used to. They did it versus Penn State, who can't score, but and if you want to go to the other side, I don't think Kyle McCord is a bit, you put him on the road in this environment, needing he's just a guy who's looked very average all year. And I think a lot of the other aspects of the team has improved. The run game, Travion Henderson's healthy. I don't think he's improved. And he had some quote this week like that got blown up where it was like, it's just another football game. And everyone's like, well, you living in real life here? It's like the biggest game. One, Zach, we'll go with Joey props there on that one for passing yardage, McCarthy passing yardage in this one.
I know where this is going.
And I'll tell you here. So, couple of things here. We're going over here on the.
We're going over.
We're going over.
Holy shit!
We're going over, and I'll give you the breakdown here.
All right.
As soon as I bet this 198 that. And I know Sharon Moore has been super conservative here, and that's where it's gonna. I think you've got McCarthy that's been banged up the last few weeks. I think he's in a better health this week. All things considered, he was moving around, no boot or any of that stuff. The other facet is I don't think Michigan's going to be able to just line up and run the ball 100 times on this Ohio State defense, and it's a lot like last year where. You're going to have to pass to win. And if they're losing, they're going to have to pass to win. So I think you're getting a little bit of a deflated number with the last few weeks of his performances against Maryland and against Penn State, where he was banged up. The pass pro wasn't there, and they didn't need to throw the ball. I think they're going to need to throw it a bit here. So I'm leaning towards the over. I think they some stuff out of the barn you haven't seen yet. I just think Michigan's going to have any chance here and have any chance lose. If Michigan's going to win, he's going to have a passing game. And if they're down, they're going to have to pass again. So I think you'll see a little bit more volume out of the passing game here.
All right. I hope he's healthy. That's all.
I hope so too.
All right. Joey props over on JJ McCarthy. Final thoughts, side or total. I mean, gun to my head, Ohio State plus 3.5 under for me. But I am not gotten to the window at all. I'm
No.
so conflicted on the game.
I totally agree. I think, that's another one. Gun to my head, would I take the points? Yeah. But this is a spread. What we've talked about some of this all year. This spread's been over 3.5 the entire season. So now you're game week here, and you're kind of buying the top on OSU, and that might be right, but I don't think there's a lot of value in betting it now. So,
well, the world will be watching, man. Can't wait for that one. Wow, what a game! I still wish Harbaugh was on the sidelines. Pete in the chat, North Texas UAB. I think 3 is a fair number. I laid 2.5. I made it 3. That's all it was around the key numbers. You bet that game?
No, not one that I'd gotten too involved in there. I think I had to lean some North Tech, but now that it's up at 3, I couldn't do it. If you got under a 3, it'd be a smaller play, but nothing significant there.
I think we have a head-to-head on UAB's win total. Where are we at on that one? I think if UAB wins, I think we push. I think we took 5. I gave you the benefit of the doubt and gave you 5 on the head-to-head win total, or was it 5.5?
Oh, no, it is 5. Do they have?
Damn, so that's another short spread. Now you know what to do. UAB money line, so that turns from a win to a push. God dang.
So Joey K, a little late life here in some of these.
Yeah, you got some life, man, to say the least. Chris Harper, Miami today. I'm not there. In fact, the more I think about it, Spot says BC plus 10. The more I think about that game. That's just where I'm at. Kirk in the chat, underdogs, moneyline parlay teams. We kind of gave you a bunch of them. If you want, obviously you want the short ones. Ball State would be probably my favorite one. New Mexico today. Is there any other shorter ones? I think there's a couple of double-digit ones that are live. Even today, TCU and Central Michigan.
Yep. We touched on this Monday. I'd say the craziest one, if you want to get, is Washington State.
That was that's right. Yeah, I haven't changed I deep dived that game. I like Washington State quite a bit. So
me too.
Kudos for you for getting that 17. Really good. I love that.
I'm not saying they win. I think it's a competitive game.
Yeah, deep diving, I said there's not many times where you have a 16-point underdog and you got a clear-cut advantage on one side of the ball. Washington State's offense against Washington's defense. And you don't get that too often, but I think that's the case. Drunk Driver, H3 in the chat. Thoughts on Colorado State, Hawaii bailout game? I haven't bet it yet. Side or total? I mean, Colorado State's going for ball eligibility. Hawaii's been playing a little bit better as of late, besides the Wyoming performance last week. I'm not there on either side or total.
I said I think Monday's show kind of leaned Colorado State, but the number was a bit rich for me to want to get involved. So, again, gun to my head, football pool or any of that stuff, Colorado State, but I haven't bet it.
Josh in the chat, are any teams that need to win to be bowl eligible that you're fading? Interesting. I bet against a few, but it was just price dependent. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I'll just say, generally speaking, I've been more on than off on these teams for this week.
Agree. I can't think of one off the top either, but
yeah, I mean, I faded Old Dominion, but that was just price. That it was when the market was at its highest of 4. Same with Rice against Florida Atlantic. It's when they were laying 6. I wouldn't do it now. Utah State, because of the injuries, would be 1 today, fading a 5-win team. But other than that, I don't know. Generally speaking, I think Marshall might get beat up by Arkansas State. There's been some market moves there. I don't know. I've been, again, most of my bets are on these 5-win teams to get the bowl eligibility. Market usually reacts that way too. Mickey in the chat, Texas Tech released a game preview vid with Adele singing Hello. What's that mean? I'm not getting it. What's it mean, man? And what's the joke I'm missing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But that's
someone had to tell me I'm missing something. I mean, obviously I know the song and stuff, but I don't know how it correlates.
They got me. You got me on that one. I just got sorry. I was firing in some bets. Somebody played Nebraska team total over 12.5 minus 130 at a DK there. So if you're looking for more ways to jump when Nebraska gets goose egged, there you go. I added some Nebraska team total.
I'll be happy 3-0 Nebraska, to be honest with you. I mean, I need
DK has some if you got a DraftKings, they got some alt team totals. Played 12.5 minus 130.
All right. Central Michigan, I agree with plus 10.5. West Virginia minus 8.5. Better play for a picks pool. Oh, interesting. West Virginia is a better play. I mean, you got 3.5 points of CLV. CMU game is still sitting at that same number. Guy respects on Toledo. I mean, if just pure numbers, if it's not situationally, Toledo's the right side at that number. I think it's a horrific spot for him. So West Virginia in a picks pool would be the best play there. UTSA, I pass. Man, we just talked about that one. Pass on that big game. Charles in the chat. Love the Nard Dog with the new quarterback getting 6. Where you at there? Because obviously the tent was on the Nard Dog last week. Came through. Quarterback looked decent. He looked better than what they've had all year. Narduzzi versus Elko doesn't scream.
No,
me running the window to bet pit.
I'll give you the franchise played the Yarn Dog Yarnell over passing yardage prop for that one for an extra prop there. That's the only action I got on that one. Is some Yarnell overs. I think it was like 170 or something like that. I don't know what it's at now, but that's all. That's it's up 190. I don't know. I mean, I think this could be kind of a game where neither teams are, but I don't have a big take on the side.
I don't either. The take is, how has this guy not played all year? I mean, when you've seen their quarterback play,
I know that's
what are you watching in practice? This Yarnell kid played well last year. I mean, what the hell are you doing? I don't get it. How dumb can you be? And we give these coaches, I don't care that they've been in the game for 30 years and they're making millions. I mean, that doesn't mean that their IQ level is that high. I don't get some of this. Charles Saul, Tulsa ECU under. I like East Carolina. That's the bet that I made in that game. Defense, I know they did fire their offensive coordinator, so they might have some new tricks. Last game of the year might have some new stuff there. That would be my concern betting that. Tough place to play, and I think the most trustworthy unit's East Carolina's defense. So I lean ECU.
Yeah, I think maybe you get that the OC bump there. Would kind of lean that way as well. The defense has been solid all year. Not when I took action in, but would agree with there.
Oh, the Texas Tech video is supposed to be about Texas leaving. Is that the? I don't know. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I also, our friends at Circa are now trading Tech 14.5.
I don't get that. Huh? I'm not there. I like this Tech team. I thought they should have covered last week too. Yeah. I thought it was unfortunate.
Oh, you gotta hit this Vandy. The Vandy. Is a sad day. Is there any? Are you? Let me tell you something. If it's 28, I'm in.
Yeah, I agree.
I just got to play because you look at the.
Didn't they lose 56-0 though to Tennessee last year? And Milton played, and Milton was the quarterback.
I mean, they had this. They basically got a late season bye, right?
Yeah.
They've been off for 2 weeks.
Good luck for you. They've covered one game this year.
They've covered one game. The horrible margin, inflate. If there's ever a spot for somebody to cover, you got 2 weeks to prepare for a Tennessee team that isn't playing for anything. Just got whacked by Georgia. I always talk myself. This is thankfully I haven't played Vandy as many times. I got off the Vandy train early. It kept going down with the ship on Kent State, but I'm back on this week. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna bet them.
Might be seeing some TCU money. No, just FYI.
So
just got the text. So just to let you know, if you want to double down on TCU, I'd be doing it right now, folks. That board's gonna light up.
That's why you watch the show live, baby.
Yeah. Eric in the chat, 350 likes, and Knish sings Country Roads. I'll join him if we get 350 likes. I love that song. But we won't do it today. We'll do it after. We'll do it on Monday's show.
You got it.
So hopefully we get 350 likes in the next 10 minutes. Mark S. Clemson minus 7.5 road favorite South Carolina. Your boy likes this one. I don't. At 7.5, I'll take South Carolina. Where are you at?
Oh, okay. I like the.
You like Clemson side? You want to go head to head?
Yeah, let's go. The head to head, baby. Head to head to end it. We got to have one. I'll take the Tigers.
All right. At 7.5.
At 7.5. Might as
right.
well. Yeah, you've been generous giving the hooks out there. I'll give you the hook here.
All right. Fair enough. I don't like the South Carolina team. I do like the way Clemson's playing, but I don't know. Beamer's like a rah-rah guy. I think that'd be a good game, to be honest with you. Jack, thoughts on Wyoming, Nevada? Here we go. I didn't think we'd get this question. I love this show for that. I bet the over, believe it or not. I thought it was way too low to start. You know what that means? It'll be 3-0 Wyoming. But that's all I bet on this one. 11 seems a little short. Nevada's bad. But you guys know that. Where you at here?
Yeah. Oh God, Nevada. Yeah, it's really disgusting. I really liked your side on the Wyoming Hawaii last week.
Yeah.
Not as much there this week in terms of the Wyoming Nevada. I hit the books. The only show you're gonna hear a little Wyoming Nevada breakdown.
Boy, Penny Lean says Nevada. Look at that.
I know the Penny Lean.
And it reduced juiced. Woo.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna jump off the Wyoming train for the season. This way, I liked the spot last week and against Hawaii much more than going on the road here versus Nevada, who defense can kind of be frisky. So to get margin now at 11, it's a pass for me.
There you go. One final one, then we'll recap best bets and see if we have any more left on the board. BYU still a fade. Took money early in the week. Yeah, I didn't bet. I don't think they're still a fade. I think 17, right around that range, is a fair number. That's about where I made it. I didn't bet it. Did you? I can see BYU in this one. Or you see blowout.
It's just too rich for me to want to get. I know the numbers up there, and Oklahoma State's had some high variance performances. At the same time, it's like an overmatched BYU team, backup QB. Oklahoma State win and they're in for the conference championship. You can kind of see them just getting blasted here. So yeah, I didn't leave it. I didn't play this one, but the numbers rich. At the same time, I don't want to back BYU.
Thomas in the chat says everything on Twitter says DG is in. Unbelievable. I'm getting so conflicting reports on that. Oh my God. It's going to be a nightmare. I will see. Hopefully TCU is just the right side regardless. Holt, we'll get to this one. Then we'll recap best bets and call it a day. Will Heisman market be open next week? Trying to manage some positions. That's a good question. Will it? I don't know. You would think so.
I would say so. I think, you got
Penix. It'll be Penix versus. That'll be. I mean, you almost have to have it for that game alone. The Washington Oregon
Penix,
game.
Nick, so yeah, I think it'll be. Maybe the prices of Daniels goes crazy. Something the prices might be different depending on obviously what happens, but I think they'll have the markets up.
How are you? How's your portfolio there?
The result I think I would be looking the best for would be 1 Daniels and then 2 Knicks. Knicks and Penix are kind of the same for me, so it's okay. It's not going to be a banger either way, depending on. I kind of got spread out between a number of players this year, so it won't be a loss, but at the same time, it's not going to be a big take.
Yeah, same boat. I'm a win. It's going to be a win. I got all 3 guys. Biggest one will be Daniels, so I'm kind of rooting for that. Nothing life-changing, though. Let's recap best bets. Unless there's another bet out on the board that we have, I'll look at it. Quick notes here, but let's pull that up and recap it. Keep in mind we gave out like 7 on Monday. Temple was today. Owls, keep it close there. Central Michigan, that we gave out on Monday. We got some CLV there. Nebraska, love Nebraska. That'd be our favorite play of the week. CLV there. TCU gave that one out. Got a little bit of CLV there. Hopefully Gabriel doesn't play, or if he does play, he's compromised. Oregon was today's show, minus 13.5, below a key number. LSU was me on Monday morning. Hopefully that's a blowout there. Joey props. McCarthy over 198.5 pass yards. Thinking that they could be playing from behind. He's healthier. Take some shots down the field. I'm okay with it now that I think about that more. Is there anything else? I'm trying to think. We're head-to-head on South Carolina. I don't think there's anything else worth I don't have anything.
Got the bottom ones there too. That's saying it's.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought there was a few more. San Jose State +3, Virginia Tech minus 2.5. Washington. Yeah, we're good. We're good. That's a solid portfolio.
Solid.
Let's have like a fucking 10-2 week for a change.
Right. End of the year portfolio. Yeah. Let's end strong here. The people deserve it, and I think hopefully some variance shines our way here.
There you go. Well, happy Friday for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, for producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips. And for all the show updates, make sure you're following at Hit the Books HQ and at the Hammer HQ on Twitter and X. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks for watching, guys. You just watched Hit the Books.